A thank you to EA for being the sponsors of today's video.
Holy moly!
So, as many of you are probably aware, Loba is making a lot of noise in the Apex community right now. Since she came out back in Season 5, Loba's been talked about pretty much every time there's been an update to Apex, and that's because there's always been a little bit more balancing needed with her to bring her up to where we all think she should be. And with recent bugs to her tactical making it really difficult to use in a lot of situations and making it not even usable sometimes, I thought it'd be worth talking about her as well, because a lot of people are talking about Loba right now, and we're here to find out if she's as bad as they say. I do just quickly want to disclaim that these aren't the only games I've played on Loba, the ones that you're seeing on screen. I have played with her a fair amount, a good couple hundred games on her, and I have enjoyed my time on her, so I do have a little bit more experience than you might think.
Throwing jump drive.
So we're going to start off with Loba's bracelet, the area that everyone pretty much talks about and unanimously agrees needs a bit of a buff. When we take a close look at Loba's bracelet, you can see that it takes around 6 seconds to travel the full 73 meters distance from start to finish, and that is after releasing the bracelet, so that is not including the time it takes to actually bring the bracelet up and arc your bracelet to reach the full distance, so you can add a few seconds on there if you want to. Now, in the time that the bracelet is traveling through the air and after it's landed, for some reason Loba is really slow, and that is a big weakness for her. She's super easy to one-clip during that time that the bracelet is mid-air. When you compare her bracelet to Pathfinder's grapple, for example, you can see that he can travel a similar, if not greater distance, way quicker and is not restricted to any slowdown in the meantime. That means there are obviously better characters for a movement ability than Loba, but maybe Loba's tactical is used better as a get-out ability. Let's compare it to Wraith's phase, for example. Now, the difference between Wraith's phase and Loba's bracelet is that Loba can get a greater distance with her bracelet than Wraith can achieve while she's in phase, and they both have that slowdown whilst they're activating their tactical, but the difference is that Wraith does not come out of her tactical in any kind of slowdown, so once she comes out of phase, she's ready to fight. On the other hand, with Loba's bracelet, if you somehow make a bad bracelet and teleport onto some enemies or into a bad position, you're not going to be in luck because you can't move, you can't pull out your gun, and you're stuck in an animation. From my time playing Loba, I found that her tactical was just not as versatile or useful as other movement abilities. It was good for repositioning in certain situations and definitely came in handy, but I wouldn't say in any point that it saved my life in combat. When we're thinking about buffs that this tactical could receive, we could see it have an increased range to its arc, making it so that Loba can reach those harder to reach places that Pathfinder and Horizon can with much more ease. Alternatively, if they don't want to mess with that, they could make it so that the animation for putting the bracelet back on is a lot quicker, or perhaps she can run around whilst the bracelet is mid-air. I think that slowdown is really debilitating to Loba, and it makes her super weak in those transitional phases while she's using her tactical, that Pathfinder and Horizon, they just don't have these problems. Now, obviously everyone knows about the Loba tactical bugs right now. If you've played Loba, you will have encountered some of these bugs at some point, and yeah, it is a big problem. It feels like she can pretty much only land on flat surfaces. Anything that is slightly slanted, the bracelet has a real problem with. Alright, cool, I'm gonna land on the roof, help my friend, shoot down on the last enemy, and win the game.
What? Land on the roof? Are you serious? You think I'm gonna do that?
But my friend's getting shot.
Listen, I don't know what to tell you. It's just not possible. I just can't physically do it.
Oh, for fuck. This has been an ongoing issue for quite a while now, and Respawn are working tirelessly to try and fix it. I can only imagine how tough it is after they've talked about the implications of why this bug is a thing, and I really hope that they find a way to fix it soon, because otherwise Loba is going to be in a really tough spot for a long time. That being said, I really didn't run into an issue when using Loba on Olympus. I really found that she was pretty good on that. The bugs really weren't happening all that much, so if you want a map to use Loba on, then I definitely recommend using her on Olympus. So all the talk of Loba being broken and unusable and just completely useless at the moment has been flooding social media, on Twitter, on Reddit, everywhere you go, you're going to see people bad-mouthing Loba, and I just think it's a little bit unjust. I think she's actually quite a usable legend, even now. We've talked about her tactical, but it's definitely got its use and its place, even if it does need a little bit of a buff, and her ultimate is super useful, especially if you're running with a pre-made squad or even just one teammate. It's really great at getting you kitted and ready to fight. One thing I've always said is that Loba is the legend that is the easiest to get a 4K badge with, and I stand by that. All you have to do is get the gun of your choice, you've got pretty much unlimited ammo, and if ever you want to switch your loadouts, all you have to do is pop an ult down in a decent position in the middle of the map or anywhere where there's death boxes nearby, and you're going to have free reign of pretty much any weapon you want. Dump truck aside, she's got a pretty decent hitbox, and I wouldn't be saying that she's easy to hit. She's definitely got quite a slim upper body, which is definitely a pro of running her. And unlike a lot of your favourite legends, Loba does not have low profile, which is a massive benefit to playing her. I think a lot of the problems that people have with Loba comes from the fact that the people who play Loba often love to sit around, loot and get the perfect loadout every time. I think Loba often attracts the type of players who just love to run around and loot all game and are not that bothered about fighting. Honestly, these Lobas always have the best loot. They always have the gold knockdown shields, the gold bags, the gold extended light mags. They're always ready to fight, but then when it comes to fighting, they often don't even put a shot in you. These types of players are still new to the game often, and they don't quite understand that you don't need the perfect loadout and the best loot to be able to win a fight. They're still learning, and that's I think what a lot of people have a problem with, is how slow some of these players are. When you get a good player and put them on Loba, it's a scary prospect. They have an unlimited arsenal around them of ammo and heals and anything they need in the click of a button. Even shield swaps are going to be there available to them, and that's not good for you. Now when it comes to close combat, Loba isn't going to be the strongest choice. Obviously, up close and personal, she's not the strongest. She's going to be a little bit weak. Her tactical, it's not going to be going off in time for her to get away or get any kind of meaningful distance before you one-clip her. But when it comes to mid-range and dictating the control of a fight, Loba is really good at this. When paired up with other aggressive legends, she can enable them to be the strongest that they can be, and that is a real benefit of having a Loba on your team. Another area I think Loba could use a little bit of love in is actually her passive. It's quite nice and useful, but definitely not the most influential passive ability, being able to see gold and purple items through walls. I think one change I'd like to see is if Loba could pick up banners in her ultimate. I think that would be the perfect change to her passive. Just a small extra ability, but it can make the world of difference. So that's going to bring us to the final question. Is Loba as bad as they say? In my honest opinion, no. Loba is not as bad as they say. Now I don't expect you to sit there and put the bracelet bugs to the side. It is a very influential problem that she has right now. It does change the way she plays in game, and it does bring her down a little bit, I can't lie, but those bugs are being looked at and constantly patched every single patch and update that we have to Apex, so I do think in the near future it will be gone completely. But when you do put those bugs to the side and think of her as a character without those bugs, she definitely has a place in the game. Even if she does need a little bit of a buff in some areas, I do think she is viable, and I do think with the right team around you and the right mentality while playing Loba, she can be really effective and really strong. Even as a solo player, she's one of the better legends to run because you can't rely on your teammates quite as much, and you're going to need the best kit to be able to fend for yourself, and she offers you that. Even if it is quite a weakened version compared to other legends, she does have a decent repositioning tool in her tactical, and with a bit of love, I think it'll be very, very good. I definitely wouldn't say Loba is ranked ready yet. I don't think she's that strong, but for pubs, I think she's viable and she's fun, and I think you should give her a try if you haven't already. But what do you guys think? Is Loba as bad as they say? Let me know in the comment section down below. I hope you did enjoy today's video. If you did, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more regular Apex Legends content. I will be streaming on the 17th of April 2021 at 5 PM BST. Make sure you're there. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy and goodbye.